Good morning, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. I'm just down in Offmore Woods. I'm going to take a little wander around, see what I can see. But I have come out with a purpose today, and that is to talk about water filtration and water purification. I was at the Outdoor Expo just a couple of weeks back, and there was a stand there that caught my eye. The stand was called Water to Go, and I went and had a chat with the people on the stand there. And I'll be honest with you, I was very impressed with what they was telling me about this product. Enough that I bought one there and then. So I did tell the chap on the stand, Dave, that I'd be doing a review, that I have a YouTube channel, I'll be doing a review, and I'll be putting his product up against the Sawyer, the mini, the Sawyer and the BeFree. He was more than happy for me to do that. And that is this video. Now, stick around, because when I told Dave what I was planning on doing, he has given me a discount code. So you can go and buy one of these with 15% off. I'll be giving that out in a short while, once I've talked a bit more about the product. It's quite bright at the moment. I am expecting rain shortly, so I've got the basher up just so I can step under there when it starts. Today though, I am talking about water, specifically water filtration and purification. Now, I have sort of covered covered this topic before when I compared the Sawyer Mini, that's this one, with the Katadyn BeFree, which is this one. So I'm going to talk about these again today, but I'm also going to introduce you to my latest one, the Water to Go filter. So we're going to look at, I'm not going to look at put the specs up for these two, because I've already done that and you can see those on this video, but I will put the specs up for this one. I got this one recently when I was at the Outdoor Expo in Birmingham. And the stand sort of caught my eye, because water filtration is one of those things that is really quite important to me when I'm out. Again, if we just quickly briefly talk about the rule of three. The rule of three says you'll go approximately 3 days without water. Now, again, individual, you know, some people will go longer, some people won't. What I do know from experience though is that if you run out of water, even an hour, and it becomes all consuming. So water's one of those things. Food, don't care. Go weeks without food, and certainly you can last a day or two if you find yourself out in the wilderness. But water, try not to drink water for a day and see how you feel. Try not to drink water for a day while you're hiking and see how you feel. So water is very, very important. So I am going to talk about, let me just empty this out. I've got some clean water in here at the moment. So the first one that I bought was like I say, this Sawyer. This actual Sawyer is got to be getting close to 20 years old now, and it still works. It's still filtering water as I expect it to, but I only use this in a very specific case now, and that is when I'm at a campsite that I'm going to be for a long time, and I've got that slow filtration, because the flow rate on these isn't great. So what I do is I take my big water bag and I go down to the stream, fill it up, like that. Oh, I'm down amongst the wild garlic at the moment. Everywhere I walk, it's just, I crush a little bit of garlic and it smells amazing. I'm just going to close the bag up, attach the Sawyer, actually attach the line on the bottom here, let some water through it first of all. So you can see now that the water will start to flow through the soya in a short while. I've got the gravity filtration system working. The soya's just dripping quite nicely, and that's clean water. So I just let that drip into a clean container now. Now, for obvious reasons, that's not really that suitable if you're out hiking, if you're moving around. You know, you've got to stop and wait for that to filter. Now, it does come with a squeeze bag. I've used it, I've burst it because the flow rate isn't great. They say you can screw it onto a standard water bottle. Not strictly true. Here in the UK, we might have a slightly different thread size. You can get it on, but you don't really get that watertight seal, in my experience. And specifically, I was coming off Snowdon, and I had that. I burst the bag, but I did have a normal sort of 2-litre pop bottle. Filled it up, screwed it on, gave it a squeeze, and the water came straight out the side. So it was useless in that scenario. So we need to think about flow rate. Now, this is where the Katadyn came in. So this is the BeFree with the soft water bottle. So again, just going to go and fill my water bottle. So where this really comes into its own is this flow rate. So if I just turn this up, now I'm purposely not squeezing this because I need to show you a comparison. Nothing's coming through that until I apply force. As soon as I do, there you go, there's your flow rate. Pretty good, a lot better than the soya, which is still just drizzling away quite nicely. And more than enough to slake your thirst. I'm just going to put this down for 1 second and introduce to the water to go. So in these cases, the filter, the whole soya unit is the filter. That's the filter in the BeFree. This is the filter in the water to go. The water to go filter is removable, so you can change this filter. I think they're, if I remember right, £25 for 2. And they do about 200 litres. Now, if I remember right, the soya does so much that, you know, it'll outlive you. I think that the BeFree, I think they quote 1,000, 200 on this one. Okay, just going to go and fill this bottle up. So the bottle's full now. I'll talk more about this bottle in just a second. It's a flip top lid. Pour it up, exactly the same as the BeFree. Unless you start putting pressure on it, nothing's coming through. Now this is a hard bottle, so I'm going to have to squeeze quite hard to get the water out. Actually, it's not that hard to squeeze to get the water out, but a little bit harder than I'd need to squeeze for the BeFree. But that's not to do with the flow rate. I know that because when I drink from it, it's comparable. So the flow rate on this one comparable to the flow rate on the BeFree. So if flow rate takes the soya out for anything other than that, like I said, that static base camp where you're filtering large quantities of water, I suppose really we need to talk about what differentiates these two. Now, this one potentially will filter more litres of water. I don't remember what it is. I will put the figure up. It is on the other video, but I'll also put the figure up, I don't know, somewhere here. And this is going for 200 litres. Cleaning wise, the soya, you're probably aware, you back flush it with clean water. That's how you clean it. With both of these, they don't really need, well, they don't require back flushing at all. They may get silted up if you're using really dirty water, in which case you can just put clean water in there, give it a shake to loose the silt and pour it away, or just give it a rinse directly in cleaner running water. So both of these clean the same. Filtration. So all three of these filter down to sort of bacteria level. So they'll take most of the solid pollutants out. They take out grit and sand and stuff like that, and bacteria. So Giardia, Cryptosporidium, that kind of thing won't get through these filters. And that's where both of those two stop. So they both say they will take that out. They don't go down to virus level. Now this does. It's got a 3-stage filtration. These are purely mechanical filters, so they just rely on pore size being smaller than the things that you want to stop. But this has a 3-stage or a 3 levels of filtration. It has that mechanical filtration, so that's going to take everything down to the same level of these two. But then it has a positive electrostatically charged filter, and that reduces the pore size even further. And this is how it captures those virus-sized particles, including viruses. It doesn't filter them in a mechanical way. It actually attracts them, so they stick to it. So we're down to virus level here, but I did say there was 3 stages to this filtration. This also has activated carbon filter in it as well. So now we're looking at removing chemical pollutants, heavy metals, so chrome and uranium. Round here there's some agriculture, there may be chemicals leaching into here. There's certainly traffic, so there could be lead in the water from the old days of pre-unleaded petrol, and this has captured all of that. So on the level of filtration, this is doing a much better job of filtering the water and making this water. This is filtering, this is purifying. Okay, so once you start looking at that electromagnetic and activated charcoal, this is starting to be purification rather than just pure filtration. So there's the technology that's involved. These bottles, they come in various sizes, so I took the smaller one. The reason I took the smaller one is because I also use it in the gym. Now I don't use the filter, I don't worry about microplastics so much and stuff like that, so I take the filter out, so I'm not using up the 200 litres limit, if you like, on this bottle. Let's talk about the cost now. The Sawyer, like I say, I bought that nearly 20 years ago, and I think I paid about £25 for it, so 25 English pounds. The BeFree, the filter itself was about £30, and then the bottles another £20, something like that. So in total that's about £50 worth. These, this morning when I checked online, were £32 for this filter. They do a smaller filter, a little bit cheaper. So £32 for the bottle, the filter. You can get replacement filters for, I think these, if I remember right, they were £25 for 2. So £25 for your replacement filters. Now, I mentioned earlier about a discount. So Dave, when I was speaking to him at the show and told him that I was going to do this, kindly offered a discount. So if you want to buy one of these, and I thoroughly recommend you do, if you're looking for a water filter, it's got the flow rate, it's got the environmentally friendly credentials, it's got the high level of filtration. The only other product I know that filters to this sort of level is the Grail. Now I don't own a Grail, I've never owned a Grail, so I'm purely going to go by the evidence that they provide on their website. It does the same sort of filtration. It does around about 250 litres as opposed to the 200 on this one, but it's more than twice the price. The Grail comes in around about £70–80. Okay, so £70–80, £34, but you can get a 15% discount. So if you go to the website, place your order, and when it asks you to put in the code, put in this code, which is out and about 15, for a 15% discount on your product. Okay. So yeah, I've not had it that long, but it's become redundant. I won't be using that on my hikes anymore. It'll definitely be this one coming with me, and then just use that bottle either for carrying dirty water for filtering afterwards, because I'm not going to get a bigger bottle. I could go and buy the bigger bottle. I like this size bottle. It's a good size for me, and I can always just use this with the proper lid on to either carry the dirty water or to squeeze the clean water into for drinking from. But I like this one, to be honest, so probably just use that for gathering dirty water now. No aftertaste or anything, it just tastes like pure fresh clean water.